All right, so in this video, I want to give you literally everything that I've done to make hundreds of thousands of dollars online. And this is going to be a long one. Okay, so here's what I got in store for you. Basically, I want to show you how I've been able to get to 30 grand a month at a 95% profit margin in as little as a couple of hours a day. Now, this isn't the most impressive thing online, right? I know that there's plenty of people that have made way more money than I have, even at a younger age than myself. But what's special about what I did is how I actually did it. And I did it following what I call the Spartan Way. And the Spartan Way is the philosophy that my clients and I follow inside of my company, Spartan Scaling. And it comes down to 4 pillars. Okay. Now, the first pillar that we care about is profit. We only care about pure profit in our pocket. We do not care about revenue or a cool Stripe screenshot. We wanted to build a lean, simple business that operates above a 90% profit margin. Okay. The second pillar that I use to build my business is freedom. We, as a collective, and I mean specifically I, prioritize freedom over everything else. And I have a quote by Naval Ravikant here. When you're finally wealthy, you'll realize that it wasn't what you were seeking in the first place, but that's for another day, right? I believe freedom is the actual goal that, you have, I have, and my definition of freedom is success. Freedom is success in my eyes. It's not having $1 billion in the bank. It's being truly free, right? Financial, time, location, freedom. The third pillar that we live by is fun. Kind of sounds, like weird, right? Business is not supposed to be fun. But what I mean by fun is we care about creating a business that makes work seem like play, that makes what others would consider us working, when we're actually doing it, it's fun and we enjoy it. And I came into this wanting to build something that I would look forward to wake up on a Monday morning and work on. And I'm going to get into my story here in a little bit, but that's the third pillar, something that we can sustain in the long run and that fulfills us. The fourth pillar is simple. We want to build a simple business, not a complex funnel or intricate system. We simply want our business to be the vehicle to our dream life. And so I'm telling you my philosophy in terms of how I built my business, because if these pillars don't resonate with you, this video is not going to be for you, because I'm going to show you how I built a business in alignment with these pillars. Okay. So I've been able to scale past 30 grand a month in profit without having to spam people's inbox with outreach, praying that they, get on a sales call with me. I've been able to do it without having massive overhead or expenses and operating like a charity business, right? I've been able to do it without having to deal with any nightmare clients that suck my time, money, and energy away, and without building a business that I felt chained down to. Okay. Now, one of the biggest realizations I want you to have if you're an agency owner or somebody in this online money space is you don't need more leads right now. You don't need more sales calls. You don't need a new funnel. You need to change your entire business model if you want to actually build something that can scale past 30 grand a month in profit in a few hours a day and only work with dream clients that you attract to you, not the ones that you go and chase down, right? So what I'm going to do in this presentation is I'm going to give you logical evidence as to why you either need to start or transition to a leveraged consultant model. I'm going to explain all of this and what it looks like. And I'm going to be giving you concrete proof on how I did it, how clients have done it, how the people you watch on YouTube do it, and how the smartest people on earth suggest doing it as well. Now, for context, I've spent of my own personal money over $50,000 in different courses, coaching programs, masterminds, etc., to learn what I know today. I've spent 3 years actually implementing the stuff and doing it to figure out how to make a business that's in alignment, with my pillars, how to make it actually work, right? And I've spent on this presentation alone over 12 hours to make this for you. And so I'm going to condense all the time that it's taken me to get here, all the money that I've spent, all the energy I put into this one single video for you. And it's going to be a long video. And if your attention span is fried, you're not going to stick around. But if that's you, I don't really want you to watch, right? I want somebody that can pay attention and actually take action on this stuff. So I want to make a deal with you, if that sounds cool. I'll just stay true to my word. I'll show you exactly what I did. And I'm going to alter the limiting beliefs that you are unaware you even have. I'm going to give you a step-by-step process to follow, and I'm going to give you a link to this entire presentation. This is, I think, 20-something pages on everything that I've done, and you don't have to opt in for it or anything. Okay. The only thing I ask for you or from you is that you're going to lock in. Okay. Zero distractions. If you're with your girl, tell her that you're busy. And I want you to take notes because a study showed that when you listen, you retain 25% of information versus when you write down, you retain 75%. Okay. And I also want you to be able to come back to this video. I'm going to have everything chaptered down below as well. So if that sounds fair enough, let's go, because this presentation will freaking change your life if you let it and you apply it. Okay. So the first thing I want to cover is the original lifestyle business. It was actually a lie. And I realized that it's harder than ever before to truly build a business that gives you time, location, and financial freedom. And I believe the market is noticing every single day that the typical agency model that we were all sold into, it's not the business that's going to get us there. You're not going to build your dream business by spamming people with outreach, by blowing freaking money on ads, or begging people to buy into some wild guarantee. And I believe the truth is that you and I have both been lied to. The last thing I want to do in this presentation is sit here on some pedestal and tell you that you're doing everything wrong in your business. I want to tell you that I was actually the person that did it wrong myself. And I faced the problems of building a business that I actually hated running. I'm going to break it down to you here. I mean, I was heavily sold into the idea that an agency, right, when SMMA was popping, was the thing that was going to give me the lifestyle I wanted, right? I was sold so hard that I sold my 2015 Jeep Wrangler to afford Iman's course, Iman Ghazi, and I dropped out of the University of Florida, one of the top schools. I had like grants or whatever you want to call it. Like I had a program, they were like paying me and stuff. I dropped out. I told my parents, I'm done, I'm out of here, to go all in on building my marketing agency. And I worked with realtors, I ran their Facebook ads, and I went from 0 to 30 grand a month in my agency in a year, 2 years, somewhere around there. And I thought I finally did it, right? Like, hey, I got the time, location, financial freedom. But the reality is that it was actually a lie. And nobody told me that I was actually going to build something that I would be chained down to and would drain my life away. And this might sound like an exaggeration. People will be like, dude, how 30 grand a month? Like, dude, just suck it up, right? But the reality is I prioritize freedom over everything, And so I built a business, I built my agency in a way where I was chained down to clients that I didn't really enjoy working with. I was chained down to my calendar, taking a bunch of calls a day, chasing prospects down to get clients, having slim profit margins. And I don't know if you'll believe me on this or not, but legitimately like kind of regretting or not wanting a client to actually pay me because I knew how much work was going to be on the other side of that payment. I don't know if you can relate to that. It ended up getting to a point where I was just like, dude, I can't take it anymore. And I decided to book an Airbnb in North Georgia for an entire week by myself in an isolated cabin. I was hanging off a mountain, super cool cabin. And on that trip, I decided to not have any team calls, any sales calls, not putting out any fires, completely just step outside of the business to figure out like what went wrong. Like, why am I running an agency that I just freaking hate, right? And I even filmed a YouTube video there while I was at the cabin. And in the video, I said, I want to be making 100K a month in profit with a lean team and not having to work as much. And it's funny because, and this is quoted from the video, right? At the time, I was teaching people to pack out their calendar. And I say in the video, I'm at the point where I don't want a packed calendar. I feel chained down to it. And I needed to change. So during that 7-day period, something that I did, which I didn't think would be a big decision, but it turned out to be, I studied the people that were actually posting on YouTube, like telling me what to do to grow my business and how to run it. And I analyzed what were the things they were doing themselves, not teaching, right? And when I studied this, I figured out something really, really cool, and I decided to act on it. So after that week, I decided to fly back down to Miami, and I had a plan. I ended up letting go of my entire team. I revamped my offer completely. I changed my messaging, and I decided to step back into the arena with a completely new kind of model. And the first month of me doing this, I made 24 grand in profit by posting one YouTube video, taking 6 enrollment calls, which I'll explain what those are in a bit, and only working with guys that I absolutely loved serving. It was night and day. And that moment, that first month back, it hit me like money for the first time in my life actually felt easy to make. And if you look a couple months prior to that, again, I was sending hundreds of messages just to get on calls with people to then spend 1 to 2 hours on a call with somebody trying to convince them to buy from me. On top of that, I would literally accept anybody with a credit card to pay me, any realtor with a credit card, because I had expenses and I wanted to make sure I made a profit that month. And if you fast forward to today, I've done close to 500,000 with my business, and that's at a 90 to 95% profit margin, depending on the month. Um, and I only serve clients that I absolutely love working with, and I deny clients that I don't want to work with. And my clients get amazing results, and I still only work a couple hours a day. A couple days ago, I had a 12-hour workday, but I had that 12-hour workday by choice, not by requirement, right? And that's also why I became an entrepreneur. I wanted to choose when I work, where I work, and what I work on, not be forced to show up and work when I didn't want to, you know? And that's what led me here, knowing that I could help other people experience this business model that I'm running. And that's where I created the leveraged consultant model. And I want to break that down with you here in this presentation, exactly how I do it. My clients do it as well. And so I want to explain what this leveraged consultant model actually is. Now, simply put, the leverage consultant model is basically packaging up the skills that you've gained in your service-based business. So I'm talking, if you're a copywriter, growth operator, IPGA, AI agency, like all these different terms, you gain skills in the service-based business and you package those skills up with mass leverage on the front end and on the back end, right? So the main thing I needed to learn was how to implement more leverage into my business to not run something that I hated. I didn't really know what leverage was. Like, obviously, you kind of guess what leverage is, right? But I want to break down how I actually did this, okay? Here's a quote. If you give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, I will move the earth. The importance of leverage inside of your company is the difference between running a business that you hate on slim profit margins and building a business that brings you a ton of profit in your pocket that you love running and everything like that. So I needed more leverage in my company if I wanted to scale without hating my life. And you need a definition of leverage here. Leverage is the ability to multiply your output without corresponding increases in input. It means achieving more results with the same or less effort. Now, I study a lot of smart people, right? But the person that I've studied the most is Naval Ravikant. And if you don't know who he is, I want you to imagine if Aristotle and Jeff Bezos combined minds to teach you about money, happiness, and life's purpose. That's Naval. This is from ChatGPT. And he's known for popularizing the 4 different forms of leverage. And he says in a quote, fortunes require leverage. And business leverage comes from either capital, people, code, or media. Capital is using your money to go and make more money, right? People is hiring, paying them to go and do something for you, obviously. But the new 2 forms of leverage in like the new day and age is code and media. And code, I'm not a coder. I don't want to hire a coder and pay them a ton of money, but I focus on media. Media has 0 marginal cost of replication. You can create something once and it gets viewed forever. So I had to analyze what were the things I was doing inside of my agency that weren't leveraged. And I realized things like manual outreach and a done-for-you offer or solution isn't leveraged. And if you continue doing those things, you will not get wealthy. And you don't have to listen to me, but listen to freaking this guy here who's an angel investor, a philosopher. He's done it all. So the question is, how do we actually implement leverage? Well, we implement front-end leverage into, the front end of your business is lead generation, lead nurture, and lead conversion, right? And so we use media to systemize the client acquisition process. And on the back end of your business, we use media to systemize the delivery and retention process of your business. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that you could automate literally everything and just sit back on a beach in Bali. That's not how this works. But we need to implement more leverage inside of our company. What I realized is that I could actually get my clients better results by plugging in the same system that I was already doing for them. Now, the principle I follow here is it takes 2 to tango. And this is something I tell my consulting clients now, right? I can give you what to do. I can give you the system, but it's on you to implement. And that client relationship actually serves to get better results versus, them buying into an agency offer. And it's like, all right, you got to perform. And if you don't, I want my money back. I want my refund. I don't have to do any work. The reality is, if you're an agency that's helping companies get more clients, they need to do some part of it. Like, I remember when I was running ads for realtors, I would run the ads for them. I would have the go high level automation set up, the text and email and all that stuff. And I told my clients they need to call their leads this amount of times following this script and do it in this order. Boom, boom, boom. And guess what? They wouldn't freaking call the leads, right? Because they bought into an offer where it's done for you. They just want the result without any work, and that never happens. So if you sell your current offer in a consulting model, your clients learn the skill that you're doing already. They learn the skill and they can keep it in their business forever. The outcome is also on them, and they understand how your system works. That means they have proper expectations. If you're running ads, they understand what KPIs they need to hit. They're not blowing up your email like, yo, the ads aren't working. Like, I've dealt with that, right? Now, I want you to know that I've had a lot of conversations with people that run an agency and are in this space and, know that maybe a consulting model is what everybody's doing and what they should be doing, but they have certain beliefs that hold them back. And I just want to address these, because if we don't address these beliefs might genuinely hold you back from changing your life. So I've heard all of these before, and I want to address them and get you clear on the same beliefs that I have. The first belief I've heard, I've poured so much time, energy, and money into my agency. Doesn't it just make sense to continue growing it? Hermosi told me to pick one thing and avoid the girl in the shiny red dress, right? Avoid shiny object syndrome. And my answer to that is yes, focus is incredibly important, but focus on the right thing is even more important. A construction worker, he can focus for 60 years. She'll never make money, right? Hermosi, he could have continued to focus on flying out to gyms to do done 40 blanches. But he did it, right? He transitioned to teaching people the model itself. So if you can ask yourself, can you continue running the business that you have the way it is right now for the rest of your life? If the answer is no, you need to pay attention, And I want to address another thing. When we're talking about the leverage consultant model, it doesn't mean shutting down your business. It simply means to pivot your offer, messaging, and marketing the right way to make it a win-win for both you and your clients. Another thing I hear, I don't know if I'm ready to teach other people the things I know. I haven't done it long enough, and some other guy I know, he's gotten better results than me with the thing. My question to you is, when will you be ready? Can you afford to not change? I know I couldn't in my agency. I hated the business, right? So the answer for me was no. And in hindsight, I realized that you'll never feel like good enough to teach people things. But if you simply have proof that you've done something, you've solved a problem for yourself or for a client, you are ready because you've done the thing. So maybe you just don't know right now what everything will look like in the future of your business. And the principle there is that humans are scared of change, right? We're scared of change. We're scared of things we don't know of. We're scared of the future that we can't predict. We're scared of the dark because we don't know what's around us. We're scared of change. We're scared of the unknown. And that's natural. And if you're the person that I'm thinking of, you're not the same guy you were when you started your business. You've evolved. You've killed off the old version of yourself to become who you are today. So we need to constantly evolve and kill off our old versions of ourselves to get to the next level. And I did the same thing when I went from running my agency to running my leverage consulting model. So you also don't need to be the best in the world at what you do, although that should be your goal, right? You simply need to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of somebody else so you can compress the time it takes them to get the result that you're selling. Okay, another thing I hear, everybody I watch online, they're telling me how I can grow my agency, right? The truth that I realized on that cabin trip is that everybody telling you how to scale is a leveraged consultant. Like, they have cool Stripe screenshots, but in their agency, they have Stripe screenshots, but the profit isn't there. That's why they're teaching. That's why they're consulting. I've seen plenty of people get exposed for false numbers and, all that stuff. And I have friends that have admitted it as well. I had a guy, actually, here's an example. I had a guy in my DMs and he told me, dude, I hit 40K this month with my agency. I asked him how much was profit and he said under 10. And I'm like, dude, what type of business do you want to run? You know, he had ad spend, team spend, complexity, and subscriptions to all a bunch of different things. That's going to destroy your business. Why would you want to run a 40 grand a month business and deal with the stress and pressure of that if you're only taking home less than 10, you know? It's crazy. Another thing, you know, a lot of people that I know just strictly rely on outreach and paid ads to grow. And part of the leverage consulting model is leveraging media. It's leveraging creating videos like this one you're watching right now. And I hear like, oh, I'm not good at content. I'm not going to be good at content. It's the same thing that you've done over and over again. Like for me, was I good at lifting weights when I started? No, obviously not. It took years of hitting the gym to get the physique that I wanted and understanding that eventually I would get good at, you know, lifting and training till failure and doing all the things you're supposed to do. Did I know anything about business when I started? Did I know anything about sending cold outreach, about taking a sales call? No. What I did was I hired a mentor to help me speed up the process of learning the necessary skills to get to where I wanted to go. So if making content, making videos to get high ticket clients is not something you're currently good at, you can spend 2+ years like it took me to learn it, or you know, you could learn it from me, or better yet, you can continue just blowing money on ads or spamming people with outreach, right? The reality is that everybody actually making money in the space is making content. And we're going to dive into every single step here in a little bit. You also do not need to be famous or have a massive audience to make any money with coaching or consulting. And I have a case study for this. My client, Jacob Ray, lives really close to me here in Miami. He came to me with no consulting offer, no audience, no idea how he could package up this offer, but he had a skill set. He was really good at SMS outreach and really good at making offers for realtors, and that helped him scale to 140 grand a month. In 60 days working with me, he posted 9 YouTube videos that were boring, unedited, and first try takes. And those videos made him well over $100,000 in cash. I actually have a screenshot of his message I'll show you here in a little bit, where he did like 60 grand like right away from posting those 9 videos, and then, you know, worked the rest of the leads to make over 100. But the best part is his highest viewed video had less than 1,000 views. And all he simply did was attracted the right people, sent the right things, and sold the right solution to their problems. We're going to be breaking this down in the marketing section here, okay? I don't know how to package up my knowledge into a consulting offer. I hear that too. With any service-based offer, you need a client success roadmap. And if you don't have one right now, what the hell are you doing, right? You need a step-by-step process of the things that need to get done in order for your clients to get to the desired result you're selling. Nobody cares how you get people the result. They care about paying to just simply solve the problem they have faster than if they were to do it on their own, okay? What if you're young? What if you don't know if people will pay you for your expertise or knowledge? I want to show you something. This right here is a picture of me coaching my real estate agent clients when I pivoted my model. And I'm on calls with these people that are, you know, some of them over 60 years old. I even have a client inside of my program right now, Spartan Scaling, that we call Unk. And I believe he's in his 40s. His name's Handsome, which is funny. But Handsome, I'm sorry if you're younger than that. I'm assuming you're in your 40s. But he understood that if he paid me, he would shortcut his success in what he was doing. Because it doesn't matter how long somebody's been on Earth. It's like, what problems have you solved during your time here on Earth? And I know a 16-year-old kid in high school. He makes $8 grand a month washing cars. He can confidently become a leveraged consultant and teach others how to make $8 grand a month washing cars because he's simply done it. Doesn't matter he's 16, right? Oh, this is a good one. It's saturated. There's too much competition. Everybody's making content nowadays, right? Why would people buy from me? You just answered it. People buy you. People buy your story. People buy the problems that you've dealt with. People buy your personality. People buy your values. People don't buy programs. People don't buy coaches, you know, coaching programs. People buy the person themselves. Peter Thiel says competition is for losers. Competition does not exist when you create the right content and sales assets that show genuinely who you are, because you'll attract clients that are similar to you and you'll repel clients that are unlike you, Okay. Last one I got here. How do I guarantee results in a consulting business? You don't. We are in a world where everybody is overpromising and underdelivering, and people want real and authentic people to buy from. I'm not completely against guarantees, but I've tried them. I've seen how they work in the market. Depending on your niche and market, I know personally, for me, the only guarantee I give my clients is if they decide not to work with me, their life and business will stay in the exact same spot where they're currently at. And the cost of inaction is the only guarantee you can give prospects. If you're teaching them how to make 100 grand a year, every year that goes by where they don't know how to make 100 grand, they're losing 100 grand, right? That's the cost of inaction. Last note on guarantees is they attract shitty clients that look for magic pill solutions and having no risk. Risk is required to make money. And intellectual buyers, intellectual people understand that. So you want to leave the people that chase a magic pill, that want you to hold their hand, that want you to save them, leave those clients for the other guys that have those crazy guarantees in the market, okay? The only reason I know that you might have had one of these beliefs somewhere here is because I believed the same things before. My clients also believe those things. And I know that change requires change. And so if you're wanting to evolve and actually build a business that aligns with these pillars, you want to build something profitable, something fun, something simple, something lean, I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Okay. This is the pathway to 30 grand a month in profit as a leverage consultant. One thing I want to address. Most entrepreneurs set shallow goals saying they want to get to 100 grand a month or 500 grand a month, right? And then I ask them, why do you want to get there? And they tell me, I don't know. It's just the goal everybody else has and why I want to get there too. You'll never reach that level or that milestone or goal until you associate that goal, that number, with a certain result in your life tangibly that you could see. And I even made this mistake a year ago when I made that YouTube video I showed you above. I said in there that I want to make 100 grand a month. But you know what I realized? My dream life a year ago didn't need 100 grand a month. Get clear on what you want your life to look like 1 year and 5 years from now. So a year ago, I set down what I wanted my life to look like. A year ago, I was living with my dad. I was driving a 2002 Mercedes. I, just wasn't living my dream life. And I set down, hey, I want an apartment in Miami. I want a Ford Raptor. I want a puppy who's currently, biting my feet right now. I want to be able to go out to any restaurant in Miami. I want to be able to not have to look at the price tag of little things like gas or food, because that was one of the biggest things growing up. Everything was determined by money. Like I felt like life kind of had this chokehold on us by money. Where we vacation depends on the money. Where we eat depends on the money. What clothes we buy depends on the money. I didn't want to deal with that anymore, right? That was my biggest driver. And a year later, right now, I live that exact life. And it's not by accident. I set the intention clearly. And for me, I found my dream life, the sweet spot was 30 grand a month in profit. 10 grand a month for me would be too lit. Living in a city like Miami, or maybe you want to go to Dubai, 10 grand a month isn't enough, okay? I found 30 grand a month is a sweet spot, and if it's the same for you, this is kind of what it looks like. There's 3 core systems that you'll need to implement, and if you implement these consistently over time and refine them, you'll be able to get there to whatever that sweet spot number is for you. And these core 3 systems are 1, an offer stack, 2, the acquisition ecosystem, and 3, the conversion machine. I'm going to break these systems down for you here in a second. When you implement these correctly, these systems alone can get you to and past 30 grand a month. I'm going to show you here. Here are a few wins from other people that are leverage consultants inside of Spartan Scaling. KJ Rainey, he has now 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. This is just a screenshot. He had a 15K week, did 9K in 2 days without signing any new clients by building a really good product, by productizing your service, right? KJ, and we'll get into like success stories and stuff later. You don't care about that, but he's doing like 70 grand a month now. Nevin, he helps people basically start an accounting firm. He had a 5.5K deal right here after a month of posting on YouTube, another 5K deal. Derek got his first client from a YouTube VSL for 8K, got 3 more clients, 2 more on the way. So he's doing about like 16, 18 grand a month, I believe. Right here we have Jacob that I mentioned before. Here's a screenshot, had a $63,000 week. Pretty nuts. And that money split between his agency that he still runs and his consulting business on the side. So this is totally a viable thing where you don't need to, consult your agency clients, but you can teach people how to run an agency, if that makes sense. Like there's 2 routes you can go with it. He made 60K from 9 half-ass videos, ended up doing like 100 in Lead Flow Later that we converted. Right here we have Adam. Adam's actually completely out of the make money online space. He's a pilot. And we launched a pilot mentoring program. Started working with me the 17th of January. A month later, 19th of February, hit 18.8K by following this process. Now, what is the offer stack? Well, when your business is under $1 mil, $2, $3 mil a year, your whole business is basically just your offer, right? And a lot of agency owners are just simply bad marketers, and it's not their fault. Like you might be a bad marketer, but it's not your fault because you were probably taught by someone that was a worse marketer. You bought some program. So most guys think of an offer and they go, like, oh, I need an irresistible offer. I need a guarantee. So we'll do 10 clients and 30 days guaranteed or your money back. And people just, they rely on their guarantee to make up for their lack of marketing skill. I have a definition of what marketing truly is here from Dan Henry, who's done over $30 million in sales, friends with people like Hermosi, Iman Gadzhi, etc. He says marketing is the process of moving someone from unsure if you can help them to certain that you can help them. And it's showing them that you understand their problem better than they do themselves. That's so important. Marketing is showing your prospects that you understand their problem better than they do themselves. And this is why the most important component of your offer is your messaging. It's not your guarantee. It's not the services you offer, the features of it. It's your messaging. So the way my clients and I create offers is by building an offer stack. And an offer stack sells different levels of access to you. And when I say that to people, they say like, oh, I don't want to have multiple offers. This is one offer with different levels. So your offer only has one transformation. I call it an A to B transformation. You help people go from point A, which is current situation, with a problem and clear pain points, and you help them get to point B. Desired situation, I call a North Star with your solution and a clear path to get there. So you sell one North Star, one dream outcome. And I'll give you an example. The North Star I sell, obviously, is helping people build a leverage consulting business that scales past 30 grand a month in profit without blank, 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 right? Chasing down clients, working 12-hour days, you're needing a huge team. So you need to figure out what is that North Star for you. And you sell that North Star with different levels of access to you to speed up how fast they achieve the North Star. An example is, let's say you help people run Facebook ads for their landscaping business, right? If they just consume your YouTube videos, they might hit the North Star of building a Facebook ad machine that makes them 6 figures a year. It might take them 2 years to do that. If they work with you on a one-to-one level, complete different levels, opposite sides of access, they might get there in 4 months. You see what I'm saying? And so that's all you're giving people access to. And I have a separate video for that you can click here when you download this resource. But at the bare minimum right now, I want you to create a minimum viable offer. Okay? And we do that by making our offer one-liner, which is I help blank audience go from blank situation to blank North Star by blank method without blank things they've tried or are doing. Okay? So if you copy that down, you fill it in, you come up with, ideal clients right here. This is your ideal client. This is where they're currently at and the pain points they have. This is the North Star that you're selling, the dream outcome these people have by blank unique mechanism. So new thing, slap a name on it to a system or whatever it is you've developed without things they've tried or are doing. This is where we drill on the pain points, right? So if you fill that in, you'll have a minimum viable offer, okay? The offer stack is just one of the core components that I help clients install in the Leverage Consultant program. I'll cover that at the end. But when you have a clear A to B transformation, a clear North Star, a clear unique mechanism, and clear messaging nailing their pain points better than they know themselves, and notice, I use the word clear. If your offer lacks any clarity, it will not sell because people buy things they can comprehend and understand, not something complex, right? If you do this the right way, selling your offer won't feel like being a part of freaking Wolf of Wall Street, making cold calls and everything. It'll feel easy. because you'll enroll clients and not hard sell them. That's what I do right now. So this is the foundation to everything. Your offer is the foundation to everything else in your business. And it's the most important thing to get right. And for most people that do it on their own, it might take them 2, 3, 5, 10 different tries to nail the messaging. But once you nail it, you know you nailed it. Because getting appointments, getting clients, it's not like difficult per se. It's simple. Now I want to cover the acquisition ecosystem. What does this look like? The first thing, I want to show you why it feels hard to sign clients for yourself right now. The reason it feels hard is due to a lack of trust. The lack of trust that your prospects have with you is the number one reason as to why client acquisition will always seem difficult. And an example of this is you could imagine pushing a boulder uphill is probably what you're doing in your marketing right now versus sliding down a hill. It feels effortless. It feels simple. It feels easy, right? You want client acquisition and enrolling clients to feel easy. You don't want it to feel, it shouldn't feel difficult. You might be trained that like getting clients is a hard thing. Like, I'm not saying business is easy, right? I told you might take 10 tries to nail down your offer messaging. But when you nail it, it should be simple. Let me explain this with your buying journey. If you look back at any time that you bought something high ticket, the last course, the last program, the last mastermind, whatever it is that you bought online, did you either A, see an ad or DM and then opt in and then watch like a 10-minute VSL and then book a call and then show up and pay in full thousands of dollars happily? No, you didn't, right? You probably saw an ad, a DM, a piece of content. You then went to their YouTube channel. You started binging their videos. Then once you've consumed hours of their content, you end up buying happily, right? Like it was an easy sell. You probably didn't sit there, struggling for a long time. It was probably an easy sell, right? That's what I do at least. No one buys from someone they don't trust. So we need to figure out the golden question, how do we increase the amount of trust with prospects as fast as humanly possible? And we do that by building an acquisition ecosystem. It's not a one-way direct funnel. It's not like an ad to a calendar page to a call, right? It's not a DM to a call. We don't do that. We build an ecosystem that contains elements of direct response, so ads and outreach, with pre-selling content to increase trust. And when done correctly, you want to become the person that has prospects binging your own YouTube videos and then coming onto enrollment calls, throwing their Amex at you, right? That's the goal. And so client acquisition, contrary to popular belief, I'm going to break this down for you. Client acquisition and marketing and sales, it's very simple. You just need to first get the right people's attention. Then you need to say the right things to those people. And then you need to offer the right solution to them. And if you nail those three things, you'll never be broke in your life. And the first one is lead generation, getting the right people's attention. There's a million ways that you can get attention. You can cold call, you can cold DM, you could cold email, you can make short form, you can make long form, you could run ads, right? Have you ever had somebody inbound message you, knowing exactly what you do, how you can help them, and ready to pay in full? Saying, hey, name, I'm ready to go. Here's my credit card. If you haven't experienced that, it probably means you aren't creating long form content correctly, because that's a byproduct of making YouTube videos, okay? Is getting people ready to buy. Like, very simple. YouTube builds all the authority, trust, and conviction needed for a prospect to buy. So if you look back, I look back at what I hated the most in my agency, it was spending 2 hours on a sales call with a realtor convincing them that I could actually help them. And yet today, I still take my sales calls with potential clients because I actually enjoy them. Because the people that show up to my calls are people that I could genuinely serve, and they know me. They know I get other people results. And so it's not a hard sell call where I need to script and read exactly this line or whatever. I don't deal with cold leads or people that are window shopping or competitor hopping, right? I deal with people that want to buy from me and are simply saying if and how I can help their specific situation on the call. You do not need a massive brand to attract clients to you from YouTube. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars from an audience of 8,000 combined on Instagram and YouTube. And the process, it's so simple, okay? You want to make videos that solve the problems of the right people that you want to attract. If you have a high-ticket B2B offer, sales training offer, you shouldn't make a video on how to make your first dollar online, right? Solve the problems for your old self that was facing those sales issues. So I say that here, right? Many times your ideal client is an old version of yourself. I've always made videos to solve the problems my old self faced. And as a result, I solved the problems of the right people that I wanted to get attention from anyways. Okay? And so if that's the case, just serve your old self and you'll attract your ideal client. The next part's lead nurture, right? So we understand, okay, how do we get the right people in the door? Long form content, and you combine it with some form of direct response if needed. I have a lot of clients, they just use a YouTube channel, right? If you have a very niche B2B offer, you might need to do outreach and build that process out with leverage, with VAs, right? Which is something I've done at, set 1,000 DMs a day with VAs. So you might need to do that if you're lacking the attention, okay? A lot of the times you just suck at making YouTube content, and a lot of people don't like hearing that, but it's the truth. But the next thing is saying the right things. How do we say the right things, right? Something I do is I view YouTube not only as a form of lead generation, but also lead nurturing. It's the only platform on earth that does both, okay? I see a lot of people with massive followings on Instagram and they're broke, right? They build audiences on those doom scrolling platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, etc. It's good to bring new leads in the door, but it fails to nurture leads enough to get them to buy. So think back on that last thing you bought that felt expensive to you at the time. If you think of that person you bought from, the same example I gave you earlier with like how you actually bought the thing. If you think back, how long would it have taken you to trust that person if all you did was consume 30-second reels from them? Maybe 2 years? It would take a long time, right? But you probably consumed YouTube videos and you spent hours with them and you know them very well. And so it was very easy to buy. And so it's not about how long someone has known you for, but how much time they've spent with you. So we specifically create VSLs on YouTube, video sales letters, that are sales assets that push our main marketing message and argument. You need to figure out what's that thing, that thing you're selling. What's that big belief you need to break in prospects and get them to believe in order to buy? I had an example with a client. He helps barbershops scale their business, right? And one thing he helps with is he helps them charge premium prices for their haircuts. And his main belief that he needs to break is that a barber will not scale to 6 or 7 figures by charging $20 a haircut. They need to understand how to become a premium barber. And so we have a main sales asset that pushes that message. So if you just make one sales asset alone, and drive eyeballs to that sales asset alone will dramatically increase your show up rate, close rate, and pay in full rate. I have a client, his name is James. Might be able to find him here. This is all like a bunch of screenshots of client wins inside of my program. But if I find James, he works with real estate agents, and he basically he started a YouTube channel for realtors, and he has a couple videos on there. Right here you see him got a 3K pay in full. That's James right there. I'm trying to find the screenshot that he has. Whatever. Regardless, he filmed a testimonial video for me, because what he's doing is he's running Facebook ads to get realtors' attention, and then he's sending these people his sales asset we built together on YouTube, and they're binging like the 6 or 7 pieces of content on his channel, and people are showing up as raving fans. It's literally in his testimonial. Like, people are showing up as raving fans. He says that to the call because he's provided so much value, right? And so the main part of the acquisition ecosystem is, instead of building a one-way funnel where leads buy or they die and fall off the face of the earth, you build an ecosystem, something that can sustain all the leads you get for as long as humanly possible. An ecosystem is an interconnected system, and it's built on leverage, where you want leads that you got 6 months ago to not fall off the face of the earth, but continue getting nurtured. And so your entire acquisition process as a leverage consultant, it's built on the foundation of YouTube in the center. Okay? So on YouTube, we create these sales assets, have one main sales asset destroying the biggest limiting belief that will hold somebody back from buying. And then you have supporting mini sales assets to destroy all the other potential limiting beliefs. Okay. And then all the marketing that we do, the outreach right here, the paid ads, the Instagram outreach, Facebook, the emails, all of that is to drive traffic to your pre-selling machine of sales assets on YouTube, right? Again, all these ads are outreach, they're intertwined with the sales assets. There are certain beliefs your prospects need to have in order to buy. An example with my client Gabe that I told you that helps the barbershops. If a barber doesn't believe they need to increase their prices, they will never buy from Gabe. So somewhere in his sales process, he needs to show them why they need to charge premium prices. You see what I'm saying? And what a lot of people, a lot of online business owners do is they change this belief on the sales call itself, not in the marketing. So if you could change all these beliefs in the marketing before the sales call, that's leverage. You get better sales calls, higher close rate, less calls, and you scale more efficiently. So you want to, instead of doing this on a sales call, let YouTube be your sales team, right? And this is the process we follow. Attention generation, funneling into the pre-selling machine, okay? The third stage is the conversion machine. Lead conversion, selling or offering the right solution to these people. So using the leverage of people without needing capital is the most important thing you can do. So how could you hire somebody without paying them? It's by plugging in a commission-based appointment setter. It's the only way that this is possible. And we love it because, we give a commission-based appointment setter 5%. We're at a 95% profit margin. We're chilling, right? You give somebody 5%, they automate this entire process in your business where you take people from YouTube and you put them on a platform where you could have a one-to-one interaction. There's only one downside to YouTube, and it's you can't have a one-on-one DM private conversation with people to convert them into clients. And so I use Instagram for that, where I talk with people back and forth and see if I could help them. Now, you want to meet people where they're at, right? I have a whole video covering like DM setting process here. Like I did that driving the truck. That's the Ford Raptor, by the way, that I got. Freaking love that truck. Taking it off-roading soon in the Everglades here in Florida. But the platform where you do your setting should be the platform that your prospects are already on, okay? So I know that my prospects are already on Instagram, so why not set them there? And I know my prospects are sophisticated. If they opt into a funnel, they're not going to give me their real phone number because I don't. So you know what? I'm going to do DM setting on Instagram, and that's what I decided, and that's what's worked for me. If your clients are on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, etc., somewhere where you can DM them, that's where we plug in that setter to have those conversations with the people in your audience, okay? So your goal here is to implement these systems to work on the things that fuel you. So when you implement these systems, you get rid of the things that you don't want to do, like DMing back and forth or, systemizing the back end by using media, right? That's one thing I didn't hit. How do we systemize the back end? We turn the service that you have and we build it into a step-by-step process that you plug into their business, and you consult them on it and you help them actually install it. Higher leverage, right? But when you implement these systems, you could focus on the things you actually enjoy. And for me, it's creating content, it's creating videos like this. It's taking enrollment calls and talking to really cool people that want help. And it's getting on calls with my clients. I love doing that, and that's why I work with my clients one-to-one, right? Now, I want to ask you a question. How do you start a fire? Okay. Well, in order to start a fire, you need 3 components: oxygen, heat, and fuel. And if any one of these 3 are missing, your fire will not start. And so I want you to view your business kind of like this fire right here, right? Where one side is the offer stack, the other side is the acquisition ecosystem, and the bottom side is the conversion machine. When you have these all functioning, all these components running efficiently and effectively, right? Like if you have, no oxygen or very little oxygen, it still won't work. If you don't have enough heat, won't work, right? So if these are actually running correctly, you'll be able to sign clients and build a $30K a month profit leverage consulting business. But if any one of these are lacking, you won't get there. It's just like building a fire, okay? That's how I want you to view it. And this, my friends, is basically the entire process that I've used. Now, I want to ask you if, I've lived up to my word. Have I shown you the process my clients and I follow? How to build an offer stack, how to sell different levels of access to you, how to use YouTube as your freaking sales team, and how to convert people into DMs, right? I gave you everything. That's the whole entire protocol. Now it's on you to take action and enter the arena. Are you going to keep running the business the way that you're running it, or are you going to change? Are you going to change so you actually get to your dream life and that dream business? Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an opportunity to work closely with me to get to 30 grand a month faster, right? So I'm about to pitch you, okay? If you're not comfortable with that, if you don't want to hear what it's like to work with me, you could just leave a comment, like, subscribe, and dip right now. But if you're liking what you're hearing, and I mean, especially if you're aligned with the pillars that I covered at the beginning, right? You prioritize profit. Like, you just care about building a business that runs at a high profit margin. You don't care about revenue. You want to have enough profit to build your dream life, right? You prioritize freedom. You want to be able to travel. You want to be able to spend time with your family, etc. You want to build a business that you actually enjoy and look forward to working on, right? Not one that you're forced to show up every day and work with clients you don't care about, okay? And if you want to build something that's simple, something lean, efficient, simple, 90% profit, couple hours a day, work with clients that you love and attract them inbound to you, my offer is for you, okay? And this is basically what it looks like. Now, I just released what is now called the Leveraged Consultant Program. And in the Leveraged Consultant Program, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you install the 3 core systems we just covered to add a minimum of $100,000 in profit over the next year. And more importantly, I'm going to help you transition to a leveraged consultant model. And so if you're currently running an agency or running a business that you don't really enjoy, we're going to pivot it. So again, you get scale past 30 grand a month in profit, a couple hours a day by choice, 90+% profit margin, attracting dream clients. We're going to install the 3 systems I just covered right there, and I'm going to help you do it. I'm going to walk you through what this actually looks like, okay? Every client that I work with, we start with a 1-hour game plan call, one-on-one call together. And we're going to build your offer stack or refine your current offer together. That means getting clear on the ICP, getting clear on the messaging, getting clear on the positioning, getting clear on the dream outcome, the North Star, everything that you're selling, the pain points and the angle that you're using in your YouTube sales assets, right? We get clear on that. And we also build a game plan on how we're going to scale this thing over the next year. The next thing we'll do is we'll begin working together with a 7-day sprint. And the goal here is to receive an ROI from working with me within the first 7 days together. And we do this by leveraging whatever existing network you already have and squeezing the juice out of any leads you currently have. And I did this with David. So David Bronner joined the Leverage Consulting Program, and he had no consulting offer. He had a done-for-you video service for realtors. He had 200 followers on Instagram, and he was lacking clarity. He joined me, and we began with the 7-day sprint. In the first week, he signed 2 new clients and made more than the initial investment of the program in just 7 days. And everything else that we've done after that was just gravy. So this is a screenshot. He closed 2 clients in a week. And now David's hitting every goal that he had. He's well on his way to scaling past 30 grand a month in profit. Okay, so his main goal when he started his video business in January 2024 was to hit 6 to 7K a month in order to move out of his parents' house. In January 2025, he hit his first 7K month, and he's invested in a few other mentor stuff since joining Spartan Scaling. Unfortunately, they haven't been nearly as good. So he hit 7 grand a month, and he only has 1,000 followers on Instagram, and he's doing everything inbound. Okay, YouTube and Instagram, that's the process that I helped him implement, and he's going to be scaling to 30 grand a month and so on. Okay, so I want to cover the timeline of us working together. What does it actually look like, right? There's 3 different stages, and stage 1 is the launch stage. This is the first month, weeks 1 through 4 of us working together. Like I said, we'll begin with your 1-to-1 game plan call. We'll lay out a roadmap on exactly how we're going to scale over the year, so you have clarity on what to do, when to do it, and how we'll get it done. One of the biggest things I hear from people is they lack clarity. They don't know what goal they want. They don't know how they want to build their business. They don't know what offer to use. They don't know what content to make. They don't know what to deliver for clients. If you have clarity on exactly what you need to do, when to do it, and how to do it together, you'll actually be able to hit your goals, okay? The next thing, like I said, is we'll build and refine your offer stack together. We'll launch your 7-day sprint to get an ROI within the first week. And then we'll build your sales assets and refine your attention generating process to make sure we get the right people's attention and say the right things to them. That's it. That's what we're going to start with right there. And then we're going to build your conversion machine. So we get those right people's attention, we say the right things, and then we offer them the right solution, right? So the first month of us working together, it's the most work intensive month because I heard a good analogy of this, right? When a plane's taking off, it requires a lot of power to get going and get off the ground. But once it's up in the air, it's kind of cruising, right? It's the same thing with your business. It's a great analogy that I heard somewhere, I don't remember where. When you're starting your leverage consulting business or pivoting or adding to it, it's going to be hard, right? Like it's going to take time, a lot of work to get it off the ground. And then once it's off the ground, it's scale time, okay? So first thing we're doing together is we're trying to get an ROI within the first week by signing one client. And then we're building your sales asset on YouTube, or we're finding whatever attention generating mechanism you already have. If it's outreach, I built a team of 6 VAs, 2 setters, 1,000 outreach a day. If it's ads, I've ran ads. My clients have ran ads. We have a dope community of people that all run ads together. And then we'll also build your conversion machine. So we'll make sure the DM setting process is nailed in. I've booked over 1,000 appointments. So I think I'm pretty fit to tell you how to book appointments. That's stage 1, is just implementing the core systems right away so we can move on to stage 2, which is months 2 to 4. Weeks 4 to 16 is optimizing. So we built and launched the systems. Now we're going to focus on optimizing them to ensure that we're hitting the KPIs we need to hit in order to hit our goals. We scale, and I help my clients scale based off the theory of constraints. And the theory of constraints is a methodology for identifying the most important constraint that stands in the way of achieving a goal, and then systematically improving that constraint until it is no longer the limiting factor, okay? And so we identify, okay, we have these systems going. What's the biggest bottleneck? Is it lead flow? Is it show-up rate? Is it close rate? Is it booking rate? Is it conversion rate? Is it pay in full? Like what is the constraint? We do that by tracking all our numbers. Surprisingly enough, most of the people I talk to, they don't track their numbers. They lack clarity. They don't know what they're doing, right? Ideally, you know what you're doing when you come to me to work with me to a certain extent, right? I can still help you out. Regardless, weeks 4 to 16 is optimizing the system, ensuring we're hitting KPIs, because that alone can get you to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month, okay? You'll have one-on-one support from myself and the community to solve the bottlenecks you have. Like I mentioned before, I work with my clients on a one-to-one level. This means you get one-on-one support from me. You get access to a community of guys that are crushing it, not beginners, entrepreneurs that are go-getters. We meet up together. We provide value to each other. We build a community of Spartans in Spartan scaling, people that are warriors, people that will not say no, right? We push, we hit our goals. We're different than the average person our age, okay? So we're going to launch this process. We're going to optimize it. And then weeks 16 to 52, months 4 to 12, we're scaling. By week 16, you'll have a dialed in offer, okay? You'll have an ecosystem bringing in hot leads and a conversion process ensuring consistent appointments to get enrollment calls instead of sales calls. You'll be doing anywhere from 10 to 30K a month at least, depending how fast you move and how much work you do. And now it's time to scale, and we'll place the same team that I have. So I'll give you my thumbnail designer. I'll give you a pool of VAs to pick from that are going to help you with either outreach or admin work or, billing, whatever it is. Again, buy back time from low leverage activities that you're doing. We're going to give you an appointment setter that you plug in on a commission basis. My network is huge. I have, I can get appointment setters at will by just going like this and, texting somebody. I'll give you an appointment setter. And that's how you unlock scale, because now you'll start to automate and leverage and systemize the content creation process, the attention generating process, the conversion and booking process, right? And then from here on out, the reason I give you support for a year is because when you have the community, the guys in here, behind your back, you have the calls with all of us, you have the accountability from everybody that's pushing the limits and wants to get to 30, 50, 100 grand a month. This is what will allow you to evolve into the version of yourself that's worthy of getting the goals that you have. Okay? And I want to mention that people lie, but results don't. I do this stuff, okay? This image right here is a picture of my Miro board with all of the screenshots um, of my clients posting wins in the Slack. Let's see if I can actually pull this up here. You see this here? I mean, I can show you better in the Google Drive folder right here. So you could check this out. I have, on my Instagram account, my story highlights, I have a bunch of wins. I have client interviews on my YouTube channel that you can go and watch. I've helped people get a Rolex at 20 years old. I help people hit 10K day, 6K close, 15K. I probably generated like close to $1 million for my clients combined. We get results here. Let's put it that way. Okay. People lie, results do not. This stuff works. Okay. I probably have hundreds of verified client wins in my Slack. Here are some examples. I've helped, like I said before, KJ Rady. He went from 0 to 40 grand a month with the leverage consulting business. You could search him up. We started together from 0. We started his consulting business from 0 in January 2024. And 6 months into 2024, he was doing anywhere between 40 and 60 grand a month with simply implementing these 3 systems we covered. Okay. The systems are complex. They're simple because we want it that way. It's one of our pillars, right? Again, I've helped Jacob 0 to 50K a month with the leverage consulting business. So he's done over 100 grand in profit with his consulting business. Got so many clients that he actually had to shut down the freaking doors. He had to close the doors, build out the product and improve it in order to, come back again and scale. I've helped Derek Rodriguez go from 0 to 16K a month with the leverage consulting business. I've helped Adam go from 0 to 18 grand a month with the leverage consulting business. And I showed you that screenshot earlier above, as well as Derek. And I have them posted throughout here. You could see them, pop up multiple times where they confirm this. You could even freaking DM them. Look, this is Adam joined the programs 2 weeks prior to this screenshot. In 14 days, closed a client for $6,200. Okay. So maybe you're thinking, what if this doesn't work together? What if, I'm just really good at making up stuff and the client results and everything? Well, I have an insane guarantee for you. One that's going to blow up the market. You ready? There is no guarantee. The only guarantee is that if you don't do the work required to get to the result, you won't get it. Okay. I'm tired of people sitting here, we're going to guarantee you, 100 grand, 10 million clients. Like, no, it's not guaranteed. You have to do the work, obviously. Duh, right? If you decide to do nothing right now, you'll stay where you're at. That I can guarantee you. If you're watching this and you're running your agency and you're like, it's a lot of work to book a call with Christian and talk to him and see if I should do the consulting. Like, I'm just going to send more outreach or run more ads. You're making a decision. You're going to stay doing what you're currently doing. And if you love the business, that's cool, bro, right? But if you're still watching, you don't. Like, you want to build something that's aligned with the 4 pillars of Spartan scaling and a leverage consultant. If you decide not to take action right now, you're just hurting yourself. And if you try doing it on your own, you prioritize your, time less than your money. You think money's more important than time. Time's the only scarce resource in the world, right? Wouldn't you use your money to speed up the process it takes to get to the result you want? I sure have. I've spent 50 grand to get to where I'm at 22. I wouldn't have gotten here if I decided to do it on my own. I'd still be with my dad, still be at college. Another thing I can guarantee you is that you will lose money until you figure this out on your own. I've been making content for nearly 2 years. I've been creating offers for 3 years. I've been selling for 3 years. I've booked over 1,000 calls. I've built a team. I've done so much. And it's taken me so long to do it that if you decide to do this on your own or just, stay doing what you're doing, you're going to lose out on the potential to be making 30 grand a month profit until you get there. Right. And so if you're doing 5 grand a month right now, and you can get 30 grand a month profit here, but you don't want to take the risk. You don't even want to book a call. You don't even want to talk to me, dude. You're going to be losing 25 grand a month until you actually do it. Okay. That's the belief shift I had when I first bought a program. Somebody told me that, dude. It's like, if you don't know how to make $1 million a year, you're losing $1 million a year until you know how. And that's why I've spent over 50K into my own growth. And something I noticed spending 50 grand into my own growth is that the average length of a program that I've bought is 90 days. It's typically like 3 or 4 months. You'll get information overload where you get 244 different videos that are 2 hours long. You'll get cookie cutter group calls every week with 1,000 different people inside there. And overall, most coaching programs just straight up suck, right? I've been in them, so I know. And I figured out that 3 months is not enough time for me to get the results that I initially paid that person for. The highest ROI thing that I've done in my life was pay $19,200 to work with my first mentor for an entire year. And the result of doing that was I built my agency from 0 to 30 grand a month in revenue. And yes, it sucked, but I definitely learned how to make money. And that was the foundation to my skill set that allowed me to become a leverage consultant. Okay? And so as a result of me experiencing a year of growth by having a mentor for a year, you get access to the leverage consultant program for an entire year. It's not a 3-month thing, and you're kicked out. I work with clients for years. I've had clients in my program for over a year already. So if you simply applied the core systems we mentioned, the frameworks, and all the learnings I've done over years of helping people scaling myself, if you applied this stuff, how hard would it be to make at least an extra $100,000 over an entire year? Let's do some quick maths, shall we? $100,000 divided by, let's say you have a $5,000 offer. And if you're charging cheaper than $4,000 or $5,000, please book a call, dude. Talked to a guy the other day. I talked to a guy the other day that was charging $300, bro. And he had built a 6-figure pressure washing business and could easily charge $5,000 to show people how to build a 6-figure pressure washing business. He just didn't know how to build an offer. Okay. If you're charging low ticket, book a call. I'll show you what your high ticket offer looks like. If you have a high ticket offer of $5,000, you need 20 clients over the span of a year to make $100,000. 20 clients. If you post on YouTube and you get 1,000 views on a video, right? I saw the average conversion rate, or at least that I saw Jacob do, was he actually converted, I think it was 5%, or no, it was 1. I think it was 1% of people into calls. He was able to get 10 calls. If you close at, let's say, his show up rate was like 100% because these people are warm. You get 10 calls. Let's say you close 5 at $5,000. That's $25,000. The point is, it's not difficult when you know what to do, how to do it, how to implement it to make at least $100,000 in a year. And if all we did was build your offer stack, build your acquisition ecosystem together, build your conversion machine, and did a 7-day sprint, how likely is it that you make an ROI on my program itself? In order to pay for my program itself, you need 1 client. And I did some translation here. You need 1 client. Uno. Un. Portuguese. Eins. That's German. If you're German, I have a German client. Shout out Maurice. I could keep going in different languages, but I'm like ran up on my limit on ChatGPT. Matter of fact, this next thing's from ChatGPT, okay? You are more likely to get bit by a shark than to not sign at least one client in a year of implementing the systems that I'll give you that have worked for my clients and I. It is like you are more likely to get struck by damn lightning than not sign at least one to pay for the whole thing in itself. And by the way, did you know you're more likely to die riding a bicycle than to die by a shark? This is obviously ChatGPT, and I had to include bike accidents happen 1 in 4,919 chance. There are 700 deaths a year to bikes, dude, to riding a bicycle. And shark attack is like 1 in 4 mil. Like it's crazy, but you get the damn point, right? You simply need 1 client to pay for yourself. So all I'm asking right now is not to make a buying decision, because you can't just buy it. I need to qualify you, make sure I could actually help you. And so I have this nice, beautiful slide right here, which says book now. And so if you want that opportunity, all you have to do is go like in the description, pin comment, wherever you're viewing this, there's a button somewhere. I don't think you're dumb. I think you could find it where you can book a call and you could chat with me personally. I'm not going to pressure you into anything. I'm going to be seeing your face for a year if you work with me anyways. So I want to make sure I like you. But I'll qualify you, make sure I can help you, see your goal, see if you align with my values and the Spartan way and the philosophy we follow. And if so, I'll help you implement the core systems that, frankly, just changed my life. I appreciate you watching this, and I'll see you down below real soon.